The bullet missed Lieutenant Commander Marcus Webb's head by 3 inches. He felt the supersonic crack, heard the distant boom half a second later, saw the spray of shattered concrete where the round hit the wall behind him. Before he could process what was happening, 2 more SEALs dropped, one clutching his arm, the other hit in the leg through a gap in his body armor. "Sniper, get down!" The convoy had stopped for a routine security check in what should have been a safe village. Now they were pinned in a kill zone, taking precision fire from multiple directions, enemy shooters on rooftops and hilltops they couldn't even see. "Contact north, contact east, multiple snipers, I count at least 6 positions." Staff Sergeant Rodriguez shouted into his radio, pressing himself against the Humvee, trying to make himself as small as possible. Another round sparked off the armored door inches from his face. The SEALs returned fire blindly, suppressing threats they couldn't identify. This was bad. This was the kind of ambush that ended with body bags and posthumous medals. Enemy snipers were picking them apart from concealed positions, while the Americans burned ammunition, shooting at nothing. Webb keyed his radio, desperate. "QRF, this is Wolfpack Actual. We are pinned by enemy sniper fire. Multiple casualties. Request immediate. I can stop this." The voice came from behind him. Claire Thompson, the civilian logistics contractor they'd been escorting, stood there holding what should have been a survey equipment case. Except the case was open now, and inside was a rifle that definitely wasn't survey equipment. "Get down!" Webb shouted. "You're going to get yourself—" Another SEAL screamed as a bullet found the gap between his helmet and vest. Blood sprayed. The medic was already crawling toward him. Claire didn't flinch. She pulled the rifle from the case with movements so smooth they looked rehearsed, pieces clicking together in her hands with mechanical precision. In 5 seconds, what had been parts became a weapon that looked like it cost more than the entire convoy. "Ms. Thompson, what the hell are you—" She dropped prone on the hood of the Humvee, rifle shouldered, eye to scope, breathing controlled. "Range to target 1, 847 meters, wind, 4 miles per hour, left to right, engaging." The suppressed rifle cracked once 800 meters away, on a rooftop they hadn't even identified as a threat. An enemy sniper toppled backward, dead before he heard the shot. "Target 1 down," Claire said calmly, working her bolt, chambering another round. 7 to go. Stay low, Commander. This'll take about 15 minutes. Webb stared at her, mind struggling to process what he was seeing. The quiet civilian who'd spent the last 3 days reading supply reports and asking polite questions was now behind a precision rifle, engaging targets his trained SEAL snipers couldn't even find. "Who the hell are you?" Claire's scope tracked to a window 923 meters away where muzzle flash had just revealed another shooter. Her finger squeezed the trigger. The rifle kicked. The muzzle flash stopped. "Target 2 down." She worked the bolt again, smooth as breathing. "Someone who's about to save your team, sir. Now please stop talking. I'm trying to concentrate." Another shot. Another enemy sniper eliminated from a position the SEALs hadn't even spotted. "Target 3 down." Rodriguez stared at her, then at Webb, then back at the woman who was systematically dismantling their ambush with the casual efficiency of someone filing paperwork. "Sir, what the fuck is happening right now?" "I have no idea, Sergeant, but shut up and let her work." Claire's rifle tracked to the 4th position. Through her scope, she could see the enemy sniper realizing his teammates were dropping, starting to panic, trying to relocate. Too late. "Target 4 down." The incoming fire was decreasing. The enemy snipers were starting to understand they weren't the hunters anymore. They were being hunted by someone they couldn't see, by someone who was better than they were, by someone who was killing them faster than they could react. "Target 5 down." Webb watched in fascination as Claire worked. No wasted motion, no hesitation, just smooth, professional, deadly precision. Find target, calculate, fire, confirm, kill. Next target like a machine. Like this was exactly what she'd been trained to do because it was. "Target 6 down." 2 more shots, 2 more enemy snipers dead. The ambush that had been killing his men 60 seconds ago was falling apart. The overwhelming enemy fire had stopped. The SEALs were no longer pinned, and all because a woman they'd dismissed as civilian deadweight had just eliminated 8 professional enemy snipers in less time than it took to call for backup. "All targets down," Claire said, safing her rifle. "Threat eliminated. You can move your wounded to cover now, Commander." She said it like she'd just finished a task on her to-do list: eliminate 8 enemy snipers. Check. "What's next on the schedule?" Webb found his voice. You just... Who are you?" Claire began breaking down her rifle, pieces disappearing back into the case with the same mechanical efficiency they'd emerged. "I'm the person your headquarters embedded in this convoy without telling you, sir. Call sign, Artemis, and we need to move. Enemy reinforcements are probably en route. I'll explain everything once we're at the FOB." She closed the equipment case and looked at him with hazel eyes that were far too calm for someone who'd just been in a firefight. "Oh, and Commander, for the after-action report, you'll say your organic sniper team eliminated the threats. My name doesn't appear anywhere, understood?" "Like hell I'm going to... Understood, sir." Her voice was polite. Her eyes were not. They were the eyes of someone who'd done this before, many times before. Someone who'd made a career of appearing helpless right up until the moment she wasn't. Webb looked at his wounded SEALs getting treatment, looked at the woman who'd saved them, looked at the quiet village where 8 enemy snipers now lay dead, killed by a civilian logistics contractor who wasn't a civilian and definitely wasn't just a logistics contractor. "Understood," he finally said, "but you owe me one hell of an explanation." "I'll give you one. After we're out of the kill zone, now move your team, Commander. We've got 3 clicks to the FOB, and every Taliban fighter in the province just heard that firefight. Drop a comment and subscribe, because the SEALs were about to learn that the quiet woman with the survey equipment case had been hunting enemy snipers in this region for 3 years, had 73 confirmed kills they'd never known about, and the ambush they'd just survived was actually meant for her. 8 enemy snipers sent specifically to eliminate the ghost they called Artemis. And in the next 15 minutes of that firefight, she'd just shown them exactly why she'd earned that reputation. Claire Thompson was a ghost. That's what they called snipers like her in the classified world where such people officially didn't exist. Born Claire Elizabeth Thompson in Montana, daughter of a hunting guide and a mathematics professor, she could calculate wind drift and bullet drop before she could drive. Competed in long-range shooting competitions at 16, winning nationals at 18. The Army recruiter who'd shown up at her high school had seen potential. The special operations recruiter who'd shown up at her college had seen something else entirely. She'd spent 8 years in a program that didn't have a name, operating under cover identities, embedded in places where America needed problems solved from very long distances. She'd made shots in 14 countries, 73 confirmed kills, all of them people who needed killing, all of them from positions where she'd never been seen, never been suspected. Today she was Claire Thompson, logistics coordinator. Last month she'd been Dr. Sarah Mitchell, medical researcher in Pakistan. Before that, Emma Chen, photojournalist in Syria. She had 12 identities, 14 passports, and a perfect record. 0 blown covers, 0 compromised operations, 0 teammates lost. But this mission was different. This time, someone knew who she really was. The intelligence had been specific. 8 Taliban snipers, elite marksmen trained by former Soviet instructors, had been positioned specifically to intercept this convoy, not for the SEALs, for her. Someone had leaked her real identity, her real mission, and now the enemy knew that the woman in civilian clothes was the sniper who'd been eliminating their leadership for 3 years. They wanted her dead, and they'd set up the perfect ambush to make it happen. Claire glanced at her equipment case, innocuous gray plastic labeled survey equipment. Inside was her rifle, a custom .300 Winchester Magnum with a Schmidt and Bender scope, suppressor, bipod, and 20 rounds of hand-loaded ammunition that she'd personally prepared. Also inside, rangefinder, weather meter, ballistic calculator, and a small notebook filled with dope, data on previous engagements, from dozens of missions. The SEALs had checked the case at Camp Leatherneck. They'd seen survey equipment, laser rangefinders, measuring devices, GPS units. They hadn't recognized that every piece of survey equipment was actually precision shooting gear, because why would they? She was a civilian logistics coordinator. Civilians didn't carry sniper rifles. 5 minutes to the valley, the driver called back. Claire's pulse didn't change. She'd trained for this, breathed through it. Master Chief Instructor at the program had drilled it into her. You're not a soldier, you're a surgeon. Soldiers fight. Surgeons operate. Clean, precise, no wasted motion. She pulled out her phone, ostensibly checking messages, actually accessing the satellite feed, 8 red icons, now with precise coordinates and elevation data. The snipers were positioned perfectly, overlapping fields of fire, interlocking coverage, escape routes planned. Whoever had positioned them knew SEAL tactics, knew convoy procedures, knew exactly how to kill everyone in these vehicles. But they'd made one mistake. They'd assumed Claire wouldn't know they were there. They'd assumed she'd be trapped in the kill zone like everyone else. They'd assumed wrong. The valley opened ahead like a wound in the earth, steep hills on both sides, a single dirt road snaking through the bottom. The perfect place for an ambush. Narrow enough that vehicles couldn't maneuver, steep enough that dismounting and assaulting the high ground would take time, long enough that once you were committed, there was no turning back. "I don't like this," Lieutenant Commander Webb said, scanning the ridgelines through binoculars. Too quiet, too perfect. "Want me to send the RQ-11 up?" one of the SEALs asked, referring to their small reconnaissance drone. "Do it. I want eyes on those hills before we commit." The drone launched from the lead vehicle, a small electric aircraft that climbed quickly, its camera feeding live video to tablets in each Humvee. The SEALs studied the feeds, looking for threats, looking for anything out of place. They didn't see the snipers. The enemy positions were too good, natural hide sites, perfectly camouflaged, invisible to thermal imaging. Because they had been in position since before dawn, their body heat dissipated into the cold earth. Claire saw them. Not on the SEAL drone feed, but on her own satellite imagery. 8 positions, now with additional data. Range to road, 600 to 800 meters. Elevation angle, 15 to 30 degrees. Probable weapon systems, Dragunov SVD, some with newer PSL rifles. Estimated skill level, expert. She did the math automatically. 8 snipers, 6 vehicles, 12 SEALs, 1 high-value target, her. If they executed properly, the ambush would last 90 seconds. The SEALs would survive. Body armor, training, defensive tactics would save most of them, but casualties were inevitable. And in the chaos, while the SEALs dealt with multiple threats from multiple directions, she'd be vulnerable unless she moved first. "Sir," Claire said quietly, "I need to speak with you, privately, right now." Webb turned, surprised by the sudden intensity in her voice. "Ms. Thompson, we're about to enter potentially hostile terrain. Whatever it is can wait. There are 8 enemy snipers positioned in those hills. They're waiting to ambush this convoy. And if we don't act in the next 3 minutes, people are going to die." The Humvee went silent. Every SEAL turned to stare at her. "How the hell would you know that?" Rodriguez asked. Claire pulled off her reading glasses and met Webb's eyes with a look that was no longer civilian, no longer cover, no longer anything but absolutely professional. "Because I'm not a logistics coordinator, Commander. I'm the asset your headquarters was told would be in this convoy. Call sign, Artemis. And I'm about to break my cover to save your team, so I need you to trust me for the next 15 minutes. After that, we can have whatever conversation you want." Webb stared at her. 10 seconds passed. 20. He'd been a SEAL long enough to recognize truth when he heard it, no matter how crazy it sounded. "Show me," he said. Claire pulled out the tablet, no longer hiding what she was looking at. The satellite feed showed in perfect detail. 8 positions, precise coordinates, real-time updates. "These 4, she indicated the northern ridge, are your primary threat. They're positioned to hit lead and rear vehicles first, disable the convoy, then work the middle. These 3, the southern ridge, are secondary, crossfire to prevent dismount and maneuver. This one, a position at the valley mouth, is the spotter commander, coordinating the ambush." The SEALs crowded around the tablet, professional skepticism warring with what they were seeing. "This is real-time intel?" Webb asked. 30-second updates. I've been tracking them since we left Leatherneck. They've been in position for 6 hours. They're professionals, Commander. Former Mujahideen, some of the best shooters in theater. And they're not here for your team. They're here for me. Why? Because over the last 3 years, I've eliminated 42 high-value targets in this region. Taliban commanders, foreign fighters, bomb makers, sniper trainers, the people who've been killing American soldiers and Marines, and someone leaked my identity to them. This is their revenge. Rodriguez whistled low. You're a spook sniper. I'm the sniper that officially doesn't exist, and right now, I'm the only person in this convoy who can stop this ambush from turning into a massacre. Webb made his decision. 20 years in special operations had taught him to trust his instincts, and every instinct said this woman was telling the truth. What do you need? My equipment case time to set up, and these vehicles to stop exactly where I tell you. There's one position in this valley where I can establish overwatch on all 8 targets. I'll need 8 minutes to get into position and 7 minutes to engage. 15 minutes total. You're going to take on 8 enemy snipers? Alone? Claire's smile was cold. Commander, I'm going to eliminate 8 enemy snipers. There's a difference. You'll provide security and watch my back. I'll do what I was trained to do. Webb keyed his radio. All vehicles, this is actual. Hold position. Do not enter the valley. We have positive intel on enemy sniper positions. Stand by for tactical update. The convoy stopped. SEALs dismounted, establishing a defensive perimeter, confused but professional. Webb pulled Claire aside as she opened her equipment case. If you're lying, if this is some kind of... I'm not. She pulled out what the SEALs had thought was a survey laser rangefinder. In her hands, it transformed. Collapsed sections extended, pieces clicked together, and suddenly she was holding a rifle that looked like it cost more than the Humvee. I'm Artemis. This is what I do. And we have 14 minutes before they realize we've stopped and adjust their position. So respectfully, sir, I need to move. Now. Claire moved through the broken terrain with the fluid efficiency of someone who'd done this hundreds of times. The SEALs followed, providing security, but staying back, letting her work. She'd stripped off the business-casual outer layer, revealing a base layer that matched the terrain. Her movements were economical, professional, nothing wasted. She reached a rocky outcrop 300 meters from the road, elevated 20 meters, with clear sight lines to 7 of the 8 enemy positions. The 8th would require repositioning, but she'd deal with that. This is the position, she said, already setting up. The rifle came together with practiced precision, bipod deployed, scope covers removed, rangefinder out, measuring distances to each target, weather meter checking wind, temperature, humidity, ballistic calculator receiving data, providing firing solutions. The SEALs watched in fascination. This was master-class sniper craft, fast but not rushed, efficient but not careless. Every movement had purpose. Range to target 1, 673 meters. Wind, 3 miles per hour, left to right. Elevation angle, 18 degrees temperature, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. She was talking to herself, running calculations, checking DOPE from her notebook. Correction, 0.4 mils right, 0.6 mils up. Jesus, Rodriguez whispered. She's ranging all 8 positions at once. Webb nodded. He'd worked with sniper teams before. Usually they'd spend an hour establishing a position, another hour ranging targets, maybe take 1 or 2 shots in a day. Claire was planning to engage 8 targets in 7 minutes. It was either genius or suicide. Commander, Claire said, settling behind the rifle, cheek to stock, breathing controlled. In approximately 30 seconds, the enemy spotter is going to radio his shooters that we've stopped. They'll start repositioning, trying to figure out why we didn't enter the kill zone. That's when I need to engage. Once I fire the first shot, they'll know someone's counter-sniping. They'll start looking for me. I need your team to make noise, draw their attention, make them think the threat is down here, not up here. We'll light them up with suppressive fire, keep them focused on us. Perfect. One more thing. She looked up at him and her eyes were calm. When this is over, I'm going to need you to pretend you never met me. Artemis doesn't exist. This never happened. Your after-action report will say you encountered enemy snipers and eliminated them with precision fire from your own sniper team, understood? Who are you really? Someone who's trying to keep American service members alive, sir. That's all that matters. She settled back behind the scope, and Claire Thompson, civilian logistics coordinator, disappeared completely. In her place was something else, something focused and deadly and absolutely professional. Artemis had entered the fight. Through the scope, the first target resolved with perfect clarity. A Taliban sniper, late 30s, weathered face, veteran of decades of war. He was positioned behind a boulder on the northern ridge, SVD rifle propped on a rest made of stacked rocks, scanning the valley through his scope, wondering why the American convoy had stopped range, 673 meters. Wind, 3 miles per hour left to right. Elevation, 18-degree angle. Claire's breathing slowed. Her heartbeat dropped. The world narrowed to the circle of her scope, the reticle hovering steady on center mass. She didn't think about the man, didn't think about his story, his family, his reasons. That was a luxury soldiers had. She wasn't a soldier. She was a solution to a problem. The problem was 8 snipers about to kill Americans. The solution was 8 precisely placed bullets. First pressure on the trigger stock settled firm against her shoulder. Breathing stopped at natural respiratory pause. The shot surprised even her, the way all perfect shots do. The rifle kicked back smoothly against her shoulder. The suppressor reduced the sound to a sharp crack instead of a thunderous boom. But in the valley's acoustics, it was still audible. 673 meters away, the first Taliban sniper dropped without sound, never knowing what hit him. Target 1 down, Claire said, already transitioning to target 2 bolt action smooth. New round chambered. Find the target. Range 701 meters. Wind same. Slight adjustment for distance. The second sniper was starting to react, confused by the sound, looking around, trying to identify the threat. Claire's reticle settled on his chest. Breath, pause, squeeze. Target 2 down, 8 seconds from first shot to second. Suppressive fire, now, Webb ordered. The SEALs opened up with M4s and machine guns, sending rounds toward the enemy positions. Not trying to hit anything, just making noise. Making the enemy think the threat was from the convoy, not from an elevated position 300 meters away. Target 3 was smarter. He'd gone prone, reducing his profile, starting to scan for the counter-sniper. Claire found him through the scope. Partial view, only his head and shoulders visible behind cover. Harder shot. Less margin for error, but still within capability. Range 688 meters. Wind picking up slightly, now 5 miles per hour. Adjust. The bullet found him anyway. Clean hit, he went still. 3 down in 23 seconds. Target 4 had figured it out. He'd spotted her position, was swinging his rifle toward her. Claire saw him through her scope at the same moment he saw her through his. A duel of snipers, both locked on target, both about to fire. She was faster. Her shot broke a fraction of a second before his. His bullet snapped past her head, close enough to hear, hitting rock 2 feet behind her position. Her bullet hit center mass. He pitched backward. "Contact!" Rodriguez shouted. "She's taking fire!" "Hold position," Webb ordered. "Let her work." 4 down, 58 seconds elapsed. 4 to go on the northern ridge, but now she needed to transition to the southern ridge, which meant repositioning. Claire rolled left, moving 3 meters to a new position. The enemy would have marked her last location from muzzle flash and sound. Never shoot twice from the same position when enemy snipers are trying to find you. Target 5 was on the southern ridge, harder angle, partially obscured by vegetation. Claire had to adjust her position slightly, shifting the rifle, finding a gap in the foliage range, 742 meters. Wind, now 6 miles per hour, quartering. Temperature rising, affected bullet trajectory slightly. Adjust. The Taliban sniper on the southern ridge was smart. He'd gone static, minimizing his profile, using cover effectively. Claire could only see portions of him. An elbow here, a section of rifle there, a slice of torso behind a rock. Patience. She'd been trained for this. Wait for the target to make a mistake, to shift position, to expose himself for just a moment. 5 seconds, 10, 15. There. He moved his rifle slightly, adjusting his aim toward where he thought she was. The movement exposed his upper chest for 3 seconds. Claire took the shot in 2. Her bullet covered 742 meters in 1.1 seconds and found the exposed section of torso. The sniper jerked backward and didn't move again. 5 down. 2 minutes, 18 seconds elapsed. Target 6 was already relocating, having seen 5 of his comrades drop and realized they were being systematically eliminated. Smart move. Claire tracked him through the scope as he low-crawled away from his original position toward a secondary hide site. Moving target, harder, but not impossible. She led him slightly, calculating movement speed, trajectory, wind. The shot would have to be perfect. He was moving perpendicular to her position at approximately 1 meter per second, range 698 meters. The mathematical part of her brain that her mother had given her ran the calculations automatically. Lead, 2.3 mils. Wind, 0.4 mils. Elevation, standard 700-meter adjustment plus angle. She fired. The bullet intercepted his movement. He stopped crawling permanently. 6 down, 3 minutes, 40 seconds. 2 left on Northern Ridge, Webb said. Watching through binoculars, he'd figured out what she was doing, could track which positions had gone silent. And 1 at the valley mouth. Your spotter commander. I see them, Claire replied, already transitioning back to the Northern Ridge. Target 7 was the smartest one yet. He'd abandoned his original position entirely and was setting up somewhere new. She'd have to find him first. There. Muzzle flash. He'd taken a shot at the SEAL position, revealing himself for just a moment. Claire's scope swept to the flash location range, 823 meters. Longer shot. Wind, still 6 miles per hour. But elevation was better. He'd moved to lower ground, reducing the angle. She could make the shot. Target 7 was a professional. He'd fired and immediately started to relocate, knowing that muzzle flash would give him away. But he wasn't fast enough. Claire's bullet found him mid-movement. 7 down, 5 minutes, 55 seconds. 1 sniper left on the Northern Ridge. The final one, before she had to deal with the spotter commander at the valley mouth, who by now had figured out his entire ambush was falling apart and was probably calling for reinforcements or planning his escape. Target 8 was not being cooperative. He'd learned from watching 7 of his teammates die. He was static, in perfect cover, only the smallest part of his rifle barrel visible. Claire couldn't get a shot on his body. But she could see his scope, a small circular reflection of glass catching sunlight. High-risk shot. If she missed the scope and hit the rock near it, the bullet could fragment, could ricochet, could go anywhere. But if she hit the scope, the bullet would pass through and continue into the shooter's eye socket and brain range, 771 meters. Wind, 6 miles per hour. Target, approximately 4 inches in diameter. Claire's instructor's voice echoed in her head. Sometimes you can't get the shot you want, so you take the shot you can make and trust your training. She trusted her training. The shot was perfect. The scope shattered. The Taliban sniper behind it dropped instantly. Holy shit, Rodriguez whispered. She just shot through his scope. 8 down, 7 minutes, 23 seconds. But there was still 1 more. The commander at the valley mouth. Claire shifted her position, repositioning to get an angle on the final target. The spotter commander was the smartest of them all. He'd watched his entire team get eliminated in 7 minutes and had made the correct tactical decision. Escape. Claire spotted him through her scope, already 500 meters away and moving fast, heading for a vehicle hidden in a wadi range, 1,347 meters. Wind, variable, reading 7 to 9 miles per hour. Target, moving at approximately 4 meters per second. Elevation, significant downward angle. This was the hardest shot of the day. Long range, moving target, variable wind, shooting downhill which affected bullet trajectory in complex ways. He's getting away, Webb said. No, Claire replied, her voice completely calm. He's not. She'd made shots like this before. Not often, this was at the edge of even her capabilities, but she'd trained for it, prepared for it, done it enough times to know it was possible. She watched the runner through her scope, calculating his speed, His heading, the wind's effect over 1,347 meters. Her ballistic calculator gave her the firing solution, but at this range with these variables, the calculator was just a starting point. Experience and instinct finished the equation. Lead, 5.8 mils. Wind, 0.7 mils right. Elevation, 4.2 mils up, then subtract 0.3 for downward angle. She watched him run, breathing controlled, pulse steady. The math resolved into certainty. The shot broke cleanly. The bullet traveled for 2.1 seconds, an eternity in shooting time. Claire watched through the scope as the runner took 3 more steps, then suddenly pitched forward, tumbling into the dirt, dead before he heard the shot that killed him. "Target down," Claire said quietly. All hostile snipers eliminated. Time, 8 minutes, 37 seconds. The valley was silent except for the wind and the distant sound of the SEALs' suppressive fire, stopping 8 Taliban snipers, eliminated in less than 9 minutes by one woman they'd never seen coming. Claire safed her rifle and began breaking down her position. "Commander, I need 15 minutes to sanitize this site, remove any evidence I was here. Then we can continue to fob Jackson. Your after-action report will state that your organic sniper team eliminated 8 enemy snipers in a counter-sniper operation." "My name doesn't appear anywhere. Agreed?" Webb stared at her. "Who the hell are you really?" "Someone who doesn't exist, sir, and needs to stay that way." The convoy reached Fob Jackson 3 hours later, without further incident. Claire had transformed back into the logistics coordinator, business casual, reading glasses, tablet showing supply manifests. The equipment case was once again labeled survey equipment, the rifle broken down and hidden among legitimate surveying tools. The SEALs said nothing. Webb had briefed them. This never happened. They'd encountered enemy snipers, eliminated them with precision fire from their own organic capabilities, continued to fob Jackson's standard operation. But as Claire stepped out of the Humvee at the fob, Rodriguez approached her quietly. "That thing you did, with the scope shot. How long did it take you to learn to shoot like that?" Claire glanced at him. 8 years of training, 73 previous operations, 10,000 hours of practice, and one very good instructor who taught me that the only difference between a good sniper and a great one is being willing to take the shot everyone else says is impossible. Thank you for saving our asses back there. You were never in danger, Sergeant. I was the target. You were just in the way. But you're welcome anyway. She walked toward the headquarters building, tablet in hand, looking every inch the civilian contractor she was pretending to be. The SEALs watched her go. "That," Webb said quietly, "is the most dangerous person I've ever met." "Sir?" 8 enemy snipers in 8 minutes, moving targets, long range, variable conditions. I've been working with snipers for 20 years. I've never seen anything like that. And she did it like she was filing paperwork. Think we'll ever see her again? I hope not. People like that only show up when things are about to go very badly wrong. And I'd prefer things to stay boring. 3 months later. Claire sat in a coffee shop in Istanbul, supposedly on vacation, actually waiting for her next assignment. Her phone buzzed, encrypted message from the program director. "Artemis, new tasking, location, Syria. Target package, 12 enemy snipers, Russian-trained, dug in around Aleppo. SEAL Team 3 requesting specific support. They heard about Helmand operation through unofficial channels. Team leader specifically asked for that civilian contractor who doesn't exist. Mission, counter-sniper in support of hostage rescue. Timeline, 72 hours. Accept, decline?" Claire smiled. SEALs talked, even when they weren't supposed to, especially when they'd seen something that impressed them. She typed back, "Accepted. What's my cover identity this time?" "Photojournalist, documentation attached, you're covering refugee crisis. Camera bag will contain usual equipment plus your rifle system. Turkish liaison will meet you at airport." "Understood. Artemis moving to target area." She closed the laptop and finished her coffee. Somewhere in Syria, 12 enemy snipers were setting up positions around a building where American hostages were being held. They thought they were safe. They thought they were professionals. They thought they could stop a SEAL rescue operation. They didn't know about Artemis. They didn't know that in approximately 72 hours, a woman with auburn hair and hazel eyes and a gift for mathematics and shooting would be calculating wind drift and bullet drop and turning 12 threatening targets into 12 eliminated problems. The SEALs didn't know she was a sniper until she eliminated 8 targets in 15 minutes. Soon, 12 more enemy snipers would learn the same lesson. Too bad they wouldn't survive to share the knowledge. Classified after Action Report Operation, Artemis Overwatch, Location, Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Date, Redacted Mission. Summary: Asset Artemis successfully neutralized 8 enemy sniper positions in support of SEAL convoy transit through hostile territory. All targets eliminated within 8 minutes, 37 seconds. 0 friendly casualties. Mission success, 100%. Tactical analysis. Enemy sniper positions represented highest level threat encountered in theater. In 18 months, intelligence suggests targets were specifically tasked with eliminating Artemis, indicating cover may have been compromised. Recommend immediate identity rotation and 30-day stand-down for asset security reassessment. SEAL team leader comments. Unofficial. Whatever you're paying that woman, double it. She just saved 12 American lives and made it look easy. I've worked with the best snipers in SOCOM. She's better. And I never want to meet the enemy who trained her because that person is terrifying. Artemis Debrief. Notes: 8 targets, moderate difficulty, weather conditions favorable. SEAL team professional and adapted well to cover compromise. No injuries sustained. Equipment performed to standard. Recommend continued operations with SEAL support when available. They're good at staying out of the way and letting me work. Ready for next tasking. Program Director. Assessment. Asset Artemis continues to perform at exceptional levels. 73 confirmed eliminations, 0 compromised operations, 0 friendly casualties. Recommend continued deployment in high-value target counter-sniper operations. Asset has proven particularly effective in supporting Special Operations Forces who initially underestimate her capabilities and are subsequently impressed enough to maintain operational security. The best cover is often the truth. She doesn't look like a threat until the moment she eliminates 8 enemies in 9 minutes. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring tales of courage.